Hello, and welcome back to your friendly neighborhood. If you haven't tuned into this podcast before, it is aimed at introducing you to the movers, the makers, the shakers, the business owners, the creators, and the innovators of your small town. I do need to pause us here really quickly and tell you a quick story about running in to my daughter's room a couple weeks ago. She's 5 years old. She put my bra on top of her clothing and was standing in the mirror doing that exact introduction.
Oh, that's so cute.
I have to say it was like a proud mom moment, but also hilarious because she had it like almost down pat. And 2 episodes in, I'm pretty proud of that.
That is so cute.
So, okay, we are back in the studio officially. We have been on a bit of a hiatus since before Christmas due to holidays and illness and all of that stuff. But today I have with me not one, but 2 very special guests. Allow me to introduce you to these business besties, your friendly neighborhood loungewear company.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
You're
thank
so
you.
welcome. Yeah. So this is Kailey and Abby.
Yeah.
And they are co-founders of a local loungewear company called Grabbing Grapefruit. If you're watching on YouTube, I am representing today in my absolute favorite comfies. And we just have so many questions. I am genuinely so curious about your business model. But first and foremost, your business name. I need to know, where did it come from?
Okay, so this is a question that we get all the time. It's probably one of our most popular questions.
Yeah.
And when we were coming up with this name for our company, we wanted something that was fun and memorable and just something that like stuck with people. So we kind of came up with this metaphor for grabbing all the sweet things out of life. And we took that and we ran with it, and Grabbing Grapefruit was born, and away we went.
Okay, yeah. I love that.
And grapefruits are a little bitter too, so it's just like about appreciating everything that life has to offer.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it is so much deeper than I thought. I thought this was going to be like a hilarious grocery store story or something.
Yeah,
like
we get a lot of like grabbing grapefruit. Like we get a lot of questions about it, so it's just it kind of open to interpretation sometimes, but
I love that metaphor.
It doesn't really have anything to do with loungewear either. It's just kind of like fun and memorable, and it's so catchy because everybody kind of like, especially at our pop-ups, they just want to know, and like just everywhere, like what does it mean? What does it mean?
Yes.
We're just kind of like, oh, this is it. So
no, what a great story. I love that. So when you said that, your business idea came before the business name?
Yes, it did. So it did. We kind of like figured out what we wanted. Or Kailey, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, okay. So we kind of actually started as a wellness blog, believe it or not.
Okay.
So we did not always know that we wanted to be into fashion or create loungewear. Like we started just Abby and I, we wanted to be like affiliate marketers and just kind of like a lifestyle blogger. So we started off on Instagram and just taking content, photos of ourselves in product and using products that we love using. And we just wanted to share that with other women and just kind of motivate and inspire. So that name kind of tied into a little bit about like the freshness and about, I guess, wellness. But eventually it kind of
transitioned into
a clothing company.
Okay. What an interesting transition. How is there like a way that specifically happened, or did it just like transpire?
So we've been best friends forever. We've been like obsessed with each other. We absolutely love doing literally everything together.
Okay.
And I think one thing that was always so challenging for us was shopping.
Because we're 2 different body sizes, and we, like we said, we love doing everything together, but shopping was something that was difficult for us. So we kind of thought, hey, we want to do something, we want to create, we do want to have our own business. We just didn't know exactly what it was. So we really took a look at the challenges that we face and thought, okay, here's a problem, we can fix
solve
it.
it.
And there's other people out there like us that, you know, their best friends are 2 different sizes as well. So having to go to different stores most times and different sections of the store, it was really challenging and just not fun, really, in a sense. So we decided to, everything that we make, every piece of clothing ranges from extra small to 3XL.
Amazing.
And we just started, like, we're just over a year old now, and we have big hopes and dreams to even expand up to 6XL eventually.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I just feel like the questions are like going crazy in my head right now as you guys tell
That's
me
great.
more and more. So that kind of answers a bit like how it came to fruition too. Anything
Yeah.
else you'd add, or that's kind of how it all started? Yeah.
I think that's pretty much how it all started. And then we've just like taken it and we've become so passionate with it, and we've just kind of been running with it. So
Yeah, like with the lifestyle blog too, it was very short-lived because we quickly found out what it actually was that we wanted to do, and that was it. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. I want to know a little bit more about your life outside of this business. So just who you are, what are your interests? Do you work outside of this business, like another job? Are you in school? Who are a couple of people you love? Like, who are you other than this business?
Yeah. So we're both from Kingston, Ontario, born and raised here.
Okay.
And then my family's still here as well. So I do have siblings. They've kind of like branched off into other cities. But I'm still living I actually don't live in Kingston anymore. I'm actually living in Smith Falls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every time I come into town, our warehouse is kind of like at Kailey's house. So
Yep.
I'm always kind of, driving from out of town about an hour. I made that move not too long ago, probably like a year and a half now. So it's been nice. And then I went to school at St. Lawrence.
Yeah.
I took social service work. So that was fun. Went through college, graduated around 2017. So quite a while ago. And then I've been in childcare kind of ever since Grabbing Grapefruit. So I'm still working in childcare part-time. I do a lot of supply work. So I'm still kind of like in and out of the schools, which I absolutely love.
Amazing.
It's so much fun to just kind of go back and just,
think
go back.
it'd be so fun.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of like a little bit about me. And then,
Yeah, I kind of the same story a little bit. Like I was born in Kingston and raised here, and I did live in Ottawa for a year. I went to U Ottawa for commerce, but I quickly found out that my home was in Kingston, so I came back, went to school here at St. Lawrence, and I've been working at St. Lawrence College for 5 years now, or 6 years, I guess.
Wow.
So I have a full-time job there, so very, very busy, but something that's like unique is that Abby and I have very different schedules kind of, so we balance each other out really well there. But yeah, what else? You know me better than I know myself.
from Kingston,
yeah.
family life still here. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I just had a really big achievement, this past year. I was a recipient of the first ever Kingston's top 40 under 40.
Amazing.
So thank you. So that's been like an insane achievement. I still can't even believe that. But yeah, other than that, like we love to travel together. We do everything together. So traveling, spending lots of time with my partner. But Kingston girl.
Amazing. First off, congratulations on that. That is huge.
So
absolutely
much.
huge.
Thank you.
I was really curious the connection to Ottawa, because you guys have like a pretty big following in Ottawa, right? Or some.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen on your social media, you guys in Ottawa or like something. So what's the connection there? Just that year you lived there, and
we've actually both lived there. So I went to U Ottawa for a year and made some connections there. Really, like I have a sister that lives there as well. And
then I was there. I moved there. I was there for about a year working, and I am only being in Smith Falls. I am only about an hour away from there.
Okay.
So my partner and I kind of go to Ottawa like frequently for events.
Okay.
And there are also girl groups kind of in Ottawa that we've joined. Wow Girl Club that we've kind of, made our way to, just because it's fun connecting in another city and meeting so many new people. So I think we've really just kind of been connecting all over Ottawa, and we're there frequently. Like I'm there really frequently for work, but Kailey as well. Like we do everything together, so I bring her along, and
you guys are there. Okay, that's that connection. So interesting. Okay, so the original goal was related to wellness.
and like basically making an impact and sharing, just kind of like inspiring and spreading positivity, I guess.
Like the feel good, like spread those feel good vibes and
being creative.
And it was really like we wanted to share, it was almost like a blog. So we really wanted to share with other women what products we were using and what clothes we used and or what clothes we were wearing, and just spread like empowerment and make people feel good that are women that are just like us.
And on our trips together, because like we went to New York was the trip that we took right as we were kind of still building our Instagram, and just
That was so fun.
being a little blogger, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was only for a short amount of time before we figured out what we wanted to do.
What would you say was the okay, I guess when I'm thinking first question, is this the first business both of you have been the owners of?
Yes, it is.
Have either of you or both of you, like, can you now see that you had like the entrepreneurial spirit from a young age?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
We knew that we wanted to create. Like, that's the thing. We have like a passion, like a fire in us that we want to have something of our own. Like, we both work, have other full-time jobs and whatnot, but our goal has always been to create something. We just didn't know what it was. And I was
gonna say, we were just talking about this because so we, for years and years, we would go to my grandparents' house and swim in their pool, and we would just be brainstorming business ideas of what we wanted to do separately and what we could do together. And we were talking about this on the way up here too, just the crazy entrepreneurial ideas we had. Like, they were just...
At one point, this was probably our college days. We wanted to own a nightclub. So we were like,
how do we do it?
Kingston needs a 3-story like club and all this stuff. And it's just crazy. Like, we've always had that spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about talking to other like creators, innovators, small business owners, all of those, because I think in some ways that brain of ours, while like love it, to people that don't have it, it's a little bit crazy.
I think
my family thinks I'm crazy.
You have to be delulu. Like, you have to be delusional in some aspects because you create your own reality and you gotta just, whatever you think, you keep thinking something, it's gonna happen. So
100%. I think delusional is just, I just feel like it's in our blood, but in the most positive way.
Absolutely.
And it's just, our dreams are just so big. And I think that we specifically, that's why we're so good for each other as well, working in business, because you know, one of us can have this like huge, crazy idea that's like maybe to, you know, someone else, it's like a little, you know, crazy.
A little out there, a little too much.
But for us, we're like, yes, let's do it. Let's go.
And
like,
our
let's
favorite lines are, why not? Yeah,
like, why not? Let's do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
I just got a little bit emotional. So I am not from Kingston. I moved here almost 11 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Moved here alone, not knowing anybody. And actually started working at social services and would walk downtown Kingston. And at the time, my favorite store was Sterling, the jewelry store.
Oh, yes.
And I walked in like one of my first weeks here and actually went through a breakup like right when I moved here. And so was really like in that, like, I'm alone. I don't know anybody. Like, I'm going to jump into like new opportunities. And there was this little necklace, and on the front, it was like a little circle, and on the front said why, and on the back said not.
Oh,
and I have forever been like, since that day, like, this is my life philosophy.
Yes.
Like, why not?
Yes.
And just you guys saying that, I'm like, yeah, that's what really started me like fully jumping in to a lot of these ideas that I used to be told were like, those are your hobbies and you have a full-time job. And like, Darcy can do her cupcakes on the side, and Darcy can make her crafts, and like, my parents, I'm sure, just thought I was crazy always and that sort of thing. And I think I'm just slowly accepting that, like, that's actually a way bigger part of me than I ever really gave it credit for. And just that why not mentality. And I think that so many small business owners have that.
Exactly. And even just like from this conversation, like there's always like little signs that you'll see in life to like
reinforce it. Like,
exactly. So even just this conversation and that connecting, like, it's just crazy.
Just so nice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. So I think it's very tied to that confidence.
Oh,
I think there's a couple pieces with it. One, you guys are in an industry of like body image, self-love, sharing clothing, sharing bodies, all of those things. So I think that we have to talk about confidence in relation to that, number one. And then number two, how do you have the confidence to start a business? How do you have the confidence to put yourself out there on social media? Your face attached to it, all of these things. I think a lot of people, when I think like your guys' age and starting this business and being from Kingston, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want like people I went to high school with to see me do this.
That was us. We so with our blog, going kind of back to our wellness blog that we started off as, that we didn't want to show our faces. We part of our blog was just like, oh, we can do it, but let's just not show our faces.
Yeah, like here's a video of like us unboxing our like wellness products and stuff like that. We were nervous, and eventually you get to a point where you're like, why? Like it doesn't necessarily matter. And it's scary. And the thing is that we do have each other, I feel like. So we are each other's like pick me up and that boost of confidence, but you really just have to, I don't even know how to get out there.
You have to do it.
It's almost like, I want to say in quotes, like fake it till you make it. Like, I feel like there's really something that kind of like switches on. Either Kailey switched on or me switched on when we're out in public and we're creating content and there's so many people around us. It's just kind of like, do you know what? Let's just do it. Like, let's go. And I'll be behind the camera and Kailey will be just like strutting her stuff. And I'll be like, yes, yes, yes. And you just like,
stop. Yeah. Because we would never do a video in public.
No,
we're
never.
Like, oh, I don't want to be the person that's like taking a picture or a video at the table or anything like that. But then eventually it's just like, this is what we do. This is what we want to do.
And it's fun.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's fun to do too. Like once you kind of get over that hump, it's a lot of fun, but you definitely,
I think it's like other things where it really takes a bit of practice, and like the more you do it, the more you're okay with it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I don't know if you girls know, but I do run an event a couple times a year called Coffee, Community, and Content. And it's just an event for like-minded women. We like meet up, we have coffee and take pictures of each other and like collab on a couple things. Talk about our big scary dreams. So a lot of business owners don't have the luxury that you guys do. And me, I need to talk about that.
Yes.
Of having a business partner.
Yes.
And so a lot of people are super isolated in their small businesses of like, I'm doing this at home in my basement. Like sometimes I get my partner to take a picture of me or my kids to take a picture of me. Yeah. But I don't have anyone else to like bounce all these crazy ideas off of. And I don't have anybody else to like hype me up when I'm supposed to do a reel or go on my stories or something like that. And it is isolating. And my small business started like just before COVID, like about a year, like 8 months before COVID. And so then that added another isolation. So coming out of that was when the Coffee, Community, and Content event really started. And it's included different women every time. It looks really different every time. It's super casual, but it's a place to like share these ideas and get somebody else to hype you up. And like, yeah, absolutely, you can do that. And I have a product that would make that work for you and like a way to help. And one of the main questions I get is like, how do you show up in your stories and how do you show up in reels? Because I'm so scared to do that. And I'm like, you just do it. And once you do it, like by the third time, it's a little less embarrassing. By the fourth time, it's a little less embarrassing. And then by the 10th time, you have like so many people cheering you on that you're like, I don't even care.
And that's the thing too. Like, we were so worried about high school because we're from Kingston. It's a small town. We were nervous about what people would think and what people would say. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter. And no, everyone that we've talked to has been very supportive.
Super supportive. I feel like some, even from high school, like people that we were friends with so long ago, like they're supporting us silently. They're engaging. They're ordering from us.
Yes.
So I just feel like sometimes you're surprised with like, you can be so scared and start doing it, but then you'll see just like you see the result and then you're just like, I'm doing it. Like I'm doing this thing. It's just, it is so hard to like take that oomph to start.
Yes.
But if you are alone and you, cause we are in a unique partnership where we do have each other. But there's so many events especially in Kingston. And we are part of, the We Can project. It's a woman, I don't know the actual acronym, Woman Entrepreneur Network.
Okay.
So a lot of women can connect. And
absolutely.
there's also like the city itself, Kingston, economic development. There's just so many opportunities out there. And for anyone listening, if you are nervous, just go to an event. We talked about this too. We were like, you know, you might not even say anything at an event. You might be there to listen. Like, you'll always learn something just from going and showing up. And
Yeah, absolutely.
that's, I guess, a piece of advice that
The other thing I think I've been blown away by in small business, and easily my favorite thing about having a small business, is the community associated with
yes,
it.
absolutely.
And I think it's that thing that it, like, nobody told me that before. Like, I never knew that, but the Instagram community, the real life community, like, I'm blown away by it. And it's easily the reason I'm staying in business. It's like, that's why.
So
And
Absolutely.
if you're considering starting and there's something that you want to do, and you're going through like the Instagram business, which is such a great model and a free model, and I'm sure we could talk about that forever. Reach out to other small business owners, do giveaways, do collabs. And I can't tell you how many like lifelong friends I've made through some of those very small, very early connections. I will go ahead and like disclose that my next guest is Kelly from Bronze by Bee.
Oh, we love Kelly.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my gosh.
Kelly and I are very close friends.
Oh, that's amazing.
And when I think about back to like when the Cheesy Pear started, Kelly was one of my first connections that I made. That I think we did a collab together, and the collab did not do well at all. But in conversation, we like developed a friendship, and then we've been friends for like a good 3 years now, and are very close, work together all the time. And so I would say, in terms of advice for people starting out businesses, that is a really good way to connect. Ask for advice. Like, how do I make a reel? Like, show me what to do. Like, could you and I do a giveaway? Are you okay with like, what should I do about my feed? Should I worry about this? Should I not? Like, those kind of questions. Ask your other small business people in your community. And I don't know one yet that isn't willing to help.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we really noticed a difference, just being, you know, we're on year 2. And when we first started, we didn't really know the Kingston small business community yet. And we were just kind of like dipping our toes in, like we were dipping our toes in a lot of different ponds,
Right.
but we were just kind of like putting ourselves out there so much. And I think it's incredible to see how far we've come with connecting with the community. And it's so important to connect within, you know, Kingston and your small businesses, because it's just so beautiful, and you don't ever know the connections that you can make, which has just been so incredible.
So awesome. I love that. Okay. I also really want to know about the friendship. I want to know about friendship in business. So if you guys didn't know, if listeners didn't know, the Cheesy Pear and the name started because it was a pair. So it was me and my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, my best friend and I. My mom would correct me on that. And so her name's Alicia, a best friend of mine, very similar in the sense that we did everything together. We worked for the city of Kingston together. And then, so we didn't know each other from childhood or anything, but as adults met, worked for the city of Kingston together, literally like we're together all of the time.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, sleepovers.
Yes.
When I was found out I was pregnant with my first baby, I told her before the dad. Like all of those things. We ended up having babies together. I saw her baby be delivered. Like, very, very tight friendship. And got into business together.
Yeah.
So I guess to just update you, currently still very, very close friends, but she moved to BC.
Okay.
Okay.
Did they have a breakup? No, we're great. We're still in love, and but she's in BC. So the Cheesy Pear is kind of a solo venture right now, which is okay. But a ton of questions, a ton of hesitation from people about getting into business with your best friend.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you guys have heard from others about that, what your feelings were from the very beginning, what were some of the conversations you guys felt like you had to have, and how's it going?
Yeah. I was going to say, honestly, it's been destined, I feel like, because our favorite story to share is it dates back to the day we were born.
Yes, many years ago.
On October night. No, we were both born 1 hour apart. We just recently found out in the same hospital, which means our mothers were giving birth at the same time. So it's just so crazy to think about that. Like, that's probably where our paths kind of first connected in a weird way. Yeah. And then fast forward we met in high school. We've literally done everything together, been through every stage, lived together, college, traveled together, milestones, birthdays, you know,
everything,
funerals,
everything.
But you just, I don't know, our bond is like no other. So I just feel like we always say that we balance each other out because of the Libra, the balance of the scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, because we've been through so many different stages of our life together, you know, we've learned to communicate in all of these different stages. So who we were when we were in high school is not who we were in college, and is not who we were when we first started to get like a professional job, and it's not who we are today. So I think we've just been evolving and growing our friendship and our communication too, because I think communication is such a big thing when you're going into business with anybody.
Yeah.
And I think we just have really, really learned how to communicate. And, you know, we have such different opinions. Like, we are polar opposites, believe it or not. But we've just really, really learned how to communicate those and how to like move forward with those things.
Yeah. And like, that's the thing too. Like, we are two different people and our visions don't always align. So there will be times where those are challenges that we face. But again, like what you said, it's just about communication and really listening. And a lot of the times, like, I don't want to say settling, but I'm coming to like a mutual agreement with stuff. But
compromising.
Like, we never get sick of each other. We've never fought, and not all relationships are like that. It is very difficult. So it has to be the right person. And
Yeah, definitely. And as far as our like families and partners go, I mean, our families have been, I feel like they've been nothing but supportive over our entire life. I feel like they are just such yes people and supportive and beautiful. And, you know, I think that they're there if we have struggles or opinions, or we need opinions, especially on those like things that we are really not professionals in, like those taxes and stuff. Like, they're so wonderful. They've been so wonderful. And, our partners too, I think, especially because we both met our partners that we're currently with, before we had a business. Okay. And we spent 24/7 before we had a business together. Yeah. So they were kind of, you know, they've been so patient with us now being like triple that. So, they've just been absolutely wonderful too. So
that's so good.
So much support, which we feel so, we feel so grateful to have.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. How do you split everything? Was that a decision from the beginning? Is it 50-50 for everything?
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of just given, like 50-50.
It's so hard to explain because like, I don't have like, yes, there's other friends, but it's just like a relationship like no other. Like,
you're my soulmate.
Like, we're just like soulmates. Yeah. So
I think it's just, there's such a different level, I think, of trust there. And there's just such a, such a bond.
We mesh really well. Like sometimes like it's hard to get along with some people sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it
like
just is.
I can't even explain it. I don't know.
I think I saw like reels recently on siblings and like those sibling relationships where it's like, truly your sibling is the only person who knows you since birth and like knows you your best, your worst, your like traits, your struggles, the things that like cause you anxiety, the things that you're good at, the things that you're bad at. And it sounds like it's like a relationship like that where it's like, even if you have a disagreement or like, you know, the vision is different, you know how to speak to each other. Like, you know how to speak to that piece of each other. Or you know if like one of you is getting really stressed out about something that's coming and the other perhaps isn't, it sounds like you know how to address it because you're like, even though it's not a concern of mine, like Kailey doesn't even have to tell me that. I know it's a concern of hers.
She just like understands like just when stuff happens, like how to approach a situation or something. Like we just get each other like that. So.
And I think it's like being prepared to like, as you can tell, like I have my little notes here, but like I like to go into things like so like prepared, or like you like to go into things so prepared, and we just know how to balance each other out.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks. Special. Feel special.
It is. It's really, it's flat out rare for people to have like those deep friendships and then to be able to run a business with somebody is like, I think that's a moment of gratitude for each other and the business that you have.
This is a kind of a was not even gonna say anything about this, but like I grew up in foster care, so I feel like a lot of things like changed in my life. But I feel like you've been like the one constant that.
Oh God, I'm gonna get emotional. Stop it.
It's been years and
real deep.
We get
Yes.
like we connect so well. It's like we've been there forever, and it will never change.
I know.
The constant for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's something to like truly cherish and really always watch. And I think it's also one of those things that like the business can go, the careers can go, and like those things have to stay the same.
Yeah,
And
well, it'll stay the same.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
nice.
so nice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so one of my questions was like any flack from family and friends about getting into business with a friend, and not really. Like you feel like it's been almost all supportive.
Yeah, it's been really supportive. It's just the only thing that we would say, it's not flack, but everyone we know likes to kind of put their 2 cents in and say like, I'm sure you're aware too. Like, I don't know
what they like, what they would want to see.
You should do this. I'm going to shout my friend out, Scott, because he's always so vocal with our products. But, I just say like everyone
just
likes it.
Lots of opinions.
No flack though.
No flack. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
it's nice too to have somebody that you can kind of go back to and just be like, oh, this person like said this about something, and you just have each other to lean on with those like little funny little conversations.
Yeah.
That you have.
And do you find that within business you both have strengths and weaknesses that you play up? Like you're able to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think that, I can speak on your strengths.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I feel like because, we always say we balance each other out because we're Libras and, it's the scale. And I truly feel like Kailey's strengths, the behind the scenes that this girl does, the coding that this girl does, it's so incredible to see her like flourish in an area that I am not strong in. So I think that it's really handy to have like different.
And so I would say
strengths.
like I'm more like the analytical side, and you're the more creative. Like I have all these visions and these plans and stuff, but I can't like actually like sometimes convey it as on paper.
And I'm just like
you're the vision,
like trying to figure everything out.
Beautiful social media, like we both do, but she's an amazing photographer, and she always gets like the best shots ever.
So it's nice. It's nice to play off those things, because it's like I can be struggling with something that's like, something, and I can send it to Kailey and she's like, oh yeah, no problem, I'll like look into it, got it covered. Whereas I'm just like sitting there. But I think another really good thing about the balance is you're so patient. I think
patience
like
is a big thing.
The patience, because I think like we could be stuck on something, but you're always making sure like you're sitting down and she's going through it with me so that I can actually understand it, opposed to just kind of being like shoving it to the side and being like, oh, I'll just take care of it.
Yeah. Okay.
She's just kind of like, this is how you do it. This is how we run through. And I think that that's a very good quality to have, because my brain can be like all over the place with that stuff sometimes.
Yeah. So. Okay. That's Alicia and I definitely have a dynamic like that as well. Like, actually when we started, that was a conversation that we had where I am a creative for sure. And that's where I flourish. Yeah. And if you could let me run wild, I could create like 37,000 businesses with the ideas that I have, but never with the like actual, like I'm not doing anything with numbers. I'm not doing anything with computers. I'm not doing. And Alicia was much better at that. She's better at like the practical, some of that, like maybe behind the scenes stuff, things like that. And it was something she was really nervous about coming into it. And she's like, but I'm not the creative. And even creating the boards, that was like a funny thing for us at the beginning. And she's like, well, what do I do if I can't create the board like as pretty as you? And I was like, well, I'll teach you. And so it really did end up becoming like you said, like where, although for us, like maybe it wasn't as intentional, but we did kind of teach each other, and like her boards there were many that were more beautiful than mine, and like vice versa. Right. And then some things that I ended up taking over that I was like, wow, I never thought I was like the technical person, but I've figured this out. I'm doing this. Things like that. And
I love that.
I think again, something that we're really lucky when we say that we have business partners, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. 100%.
So without disclosing too much, knowing that as small business owners, we need to keep some of our secrets in our pockets. Do you have some big, scary dreams?
Oh,
with Grabbing Grapefruit, like specifically with Grabbing Grapefruit?
I think, well, we have one in specific that I'm thinking of.
We have
What are you
one.
thinking?
You can just say yes or no. You don't have to specifically, yeah.
Does it start with an F?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Forbes.
Okay.
We are, like we said, a little bit delusional, but
We are a lot delusional, but it's
this
good.
is the way that we think. You need to have those big goals.
You absolutely
need to have
need
the big
to.
goals and smaller stuff. How do we accomplish this? If you're looking at a big picture, it seems so far out of reach. Break it down smaller. And what's the first thing to accomplish? Your city, and which
Kingston.
we're already on our way.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that, like, again, that accomplishment was insane, and it's a mini Forbes.
Yeah,
in a way.
it is.
So,
Totally.
Yeah.
so yeah, that's
Yeah.
on our vision board.
I would
Okay,
say
so I don't know. You like, I'm sure you know the name. Not sure how into it. Jillian Harris. Are you guys
Yes,
okay?
familiar with her.
So I'm like a huge Jillian Harris fan. Love her so much. I'm obsessed, to be honest. When we talk about social media and comparison, I know that's like a big issue for a lot of people. For me, it's like social media is inspiration, not comparison. Like that's not something I struggle with. I don't
absolutely.
struggle with comparison, and I know that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Jillian Harris is a massive inspiration to me in her small business mind, and she created something called the Jilly Academy, and it's like teaching for small businesses and etc. We did get the first training, Alicia and I, because we were both so obsessed with her, and it's like a booklet that you work through, and I'm pretty sure she calls it your big scary hairy dream or something.
I love that.
And it is literally like, she's like, shoot for the
I love
fucking
that.
stars. Like, how big can you dream? And then like, my psychology background is the like the sunset clause. Like, so that's our sunset clause. And how do we work backwards to that? And sometimes, depending on the business that you're in, depending on like your independent goals, life goals, things like that, I have a lot of like big crazy dreams for the Cheesy Pear, but I don't actually need them in the same way that maybe you guys do with Grabbing Grapefruit, where that's your goal right now, which is so beautiful. But I think that when we look at that with small business ownership, like there is such a spectrum. And when you look at your life outside of that small business, that's not always all of it, right? And I don't mean that's all of it for you, but do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Grabbing Grapefruit has like grabbed onto your guys' life. You have grabbed onto it, and
really
you
has.
have so much potential with it. And for me with Cheesy Pear, I guess what I'm trying to like make the distinction is I'm not sure that's it for me. I'm not sure that's the dream that I want to grab onto and make into this giant thing. But having these great big crazy goals keeps me just driven to keep doing it.
Exactly.
And
It's
that's
like a
what
fire.
like and that's
Yeah.
where I kind of want to like mention it, in which I feel like I did that in a messy way, but because you have the people that are like making t-shirts in their basement.
Yeah.
And that's where they're starting.
Yeah.
And that might be where they go with it because they have families, because they have other jobs, because like for whatever reason. And they can have like these background dreams of like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a storefront. And I'm going to have all these things. And that to me is just as beautiful as actually having that dream and following through with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like we can have such a degree of small business ownership.
Yeah.
And
100%.
you can have that small basement business and this whole podcast still applies.
Yes.
100%.
Or you can have this business where like you guys are going to be in Forbes magazine someday, and I'm so excited to say you're on my podcast. And that's what I'm saying is there's a huge spectrum, but I think all of us have these wild dreams.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
And I would like to say too is that like our goal is eventually an inclusive place for, you know, like all different body sizes, and I think that's like our actual goal. Forbes is like our personal one.
Yeah.
But just seeing the clothing industry itself, like the fashion industry, change across the board.
And I think too, like with us, you know, being best friends and having such a struggle with shopping together, being different sizes, I think it would just be so beautiful to create this, you know, Grabbing Grapefruit as a brand that best friends from everywhere of all different sizes can shop. And I think that's something that we really hold on to. And like, it's just such a big goal of ours too. So
I think that's when we look at like the pillars of a business, right? And you have this like Forbes is definitely a goal. And, but like the vision is that piece, is the inclusivity and the, I love it. I love talking about this. I love
fire. I feel like it, like what you said, it like puts something in you that I'm just like giddy and excited and I want to talk about it. And I think it's such a great platform to be able to talk about it. So I think that's fabulous what you're doing.
We also kind of have an announcement.
We do.
We want to share
Yes.
it? Yes. About it yet.
Yes. We thought it would be exclusive to the Cheese Bear podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are so devoted to our sizing, and we've been really trying extremely hard over the past, since we started, really, to perfect our sizing. And the previous, we are changing our sizing. So we're expanding it to be even more inclusive. I'm actually wearing, I don't know if you guys can see at home, but I'm actually wearing our sample of our new 3X. So the previous 3X was a fitted style. And they kind of hugged me in places.
It was more snug.
So everything, all of our new resocks will be in our new sizing, and we're just, I guess, we're getting there. And you know, we've been down a journey. It's been a journey, and you know, like we've had orders where we've had to, I guess, lose a big chunk of money, trying to get things right, and they just weren't perfect. So we've put a lot of work into taking tape measures and like really going at it to get our custom sizes too. So our new stuff will be
everything we restock from now on will be our new custom sizing, and we're gonna go from there.
So exciting.
We're so excited.
We're really
about
excited
it.
about that.
I think people will love that. I think that's what people want to see from you guys, and that's amazing. I have questions as you're telling me that because I'm not in the same industry as you, and that is, how did you start in this in terms of the logistic? Like, how, if you want to make a tracksuit, like where does that happen? And again, we know that we can't give away all of our secrets, okay? But how would you start? Say I want to make hats. Like how do I do that?
Well, we want the best quality, and I think that is something that we really pride ourselves on. And we took a bunch of field trips to a bunch of different stores.
Yes.
So we've started with a few local Kingston businesses and just going in, trying on products, seeing how things fit, thinking about the things in my closet that we already love, which is how we got into loungewear, really, is because we love being comfy all the time. But going into different stores, looking at the fabrics, touching the fabrics, we were always drawn to. I don't even remember his name, but there was one store, I'm trying to think. It was, I don't know, but he always would make fun of us because we always gravitated towards the more pricier samples.
Right. We were in
quality is super important to us. But just going out there, I guess, and getting a sense of what stuff you like, and then exploring. You have to do a lot of research. Google is probably your best friend. To find a manufacturer that is willing to work with you, but you know, our manufacturer is overseas, and there's challenges that we face, like language barriers, time difference. But I guess just starting by
So I have to say, as a new consumer of your product, the quality of the material is top notch.
Oh, thank you.
Something that I think you cannot tell through your social media. Like you can't, if it's a fabric. So there are challenges of being in a food business. There are challenges being in a clothing business. Obviously, yes, we love social media. It's helped you so much. Your website, all of the above, but you can't touch the fabric.
Exactly.
No. That's the
so
thing.
Until you touch the fabric, you don't know what you're getting into. So I had not touched the fabric until the boho market this year. That was the
Yes.
first time that I touched it. And even touching it, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's softer than I expected. It wasn't until I put it on my body that I was like, this now will not be coming off my body. Like,
Exactly. And that's
so
the
nice
thing
to hear.
about pop-ups. Like
Yes, that's what I was
we've
going to
had
mention.
a great summer, and it's so amazing to see people's faces.
Reactions, I think.
Yeah. In the moment, like, wow. Like, and they tell their
so
friends, like, come
soft.
over.
Yeah.
You need to feel this right now. This is the comfiest pair ever. So I think our pop-ups are really great for that. But yeah. It is a challenge to
Yeah, absolutely.
kind of
convey it over social
Yeah.
media, because
It
we're
is,
like,
yeah.
we promise, like, we
would not sell something that we weren't 100% confident in.
Yes, quality control.
Yeah.
Quality control. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. What do you think has made you so successful?
Oh, I think there's a couple things. Well, firstly, thank you for
You're so
saying that.
welcome. Yeah.
But I think a couple things. I think us being our authentic selves on
Hugely.
social media and trying to like have that balance of showing people who we are as best friends, and you know, we're silly and goofy and we say some funny things sometimes, and we
Yeah.
want to capture those moments.
Yeah.
And then we also want to show everybody the product, and we want to show like life, like the lifestyle you can live when you're in our product, opposed to just like, here's a sweatsuit, like go figure it out. We want to be in coffee shops, we want to go shopping with your best
Yeah.
friends, we want to be at dinners, we want to like just show ourselves. But
Yeah, and you can be wearing sweats and not have to feel bad about it,
Yeah.
and just being comfy and being yourself and just feeling good, I guess, is
is
the
where
message that we try to put out
Convey.
and people relate to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say like a huge proponent of your success is carrying that through, but through social media.
Yes.
So would you say
absolutely.
that your Instagram is a huge like source of your success also?
Absolutely, I would say.
And at our pop-ups, like we've brought in it's kind of this wooden door that was
Yeah.
actually your mom's,
Yeah.
your parents, and it was like a panel, no glass, but like window slots for
Okay.
stuff. And then we would tape photos of ourselves.
So it would be like, you'd like walk in it and it would be
Wait,
like
not ourselves. Okay.
yeah,
finish
it
the
would be
story.
like you're looking at our Instagram, you're like shopping, but you can see like all the different ways you can kind of wear our loungewear. So it's
Okay.
kind of like,
brought our Instagram to
Yes,
life. Like,
yeah.
for the
Oh,
in-person
very cool.
experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I think that was nice.
Okay. Amazing. I love your guys' social media.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're killing it there. Does it come very naturally to you guys?
I would say it came pretty naturally. I think it took some work. I think it took some time, but I think posting and kind of that creative aspect of it is, you have to put in time to kind of do research of what kind of things you like. But once we got going with it, I feel like it was so natural, and we would just throw on a sweatsuit and go to a coffee shop and take a couple pictures. I mean, more got put into it, but
Yeah, like vibrant
yeah, vibrant.
Yeah.
content and stuff like that. Was
I think what I love, and it might speak to the age difference here, we can talk like millennials, all that with social media, is like, your social media is not perfect.
No,
It's not that like curated, perfect, my generation social media. And I think I've been creeping you a lot recently, and I feel like it's changed. I feel like it maybe was a little bit
has.
more curated at the beginning, and it's
yes,
like moved
absolutely.
into like you guys sharing everything. And it's not like the perfectly put together reel, and it's not the like color coordinated everything. And first of all, I think that's the way social media is going right now. Like I do think that's kind of the trend is to like
the raw.
yeah, like it's like, you know, and
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously I think that goes with your brand too. I think that's
Yeah.
perfect. But yeah, I just want to shout it out and say, I think you guys are
Thank
killing that
you.
right now. And I'm like
thank you.
gaining a lot of
Thank
inspiration
you.
from being like, okay, I don't need like this all to be perfect, and I don't need the colors to always match.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
And
love
that's
that.
what we've. So if you actually scroll down our page, you will see quite a color
A difference,
shift.
yeah.
I think the first summer was really bright, vibrant colors, and then you get into winter where our the season changed, dark. Our Own the Moment collection
Yes.
launched back to the basics. So a lot of black and whites. We're kind of in that now again with winter, but we are posting more, like more raw footage, behind the scenes stuff.
I would say it too. I think that Instagram has been so helpful, but I also think TikTok has been really helpful.
Yes, I meant to say this. I noted this about the platforms you guys use.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's
TikTok.
great. I was just going to say TikTok has been, it's kind of like pulled more of the rawness out of us.
Okay. I was curious about that.
Yeah. Cause I think that, Instagram, it's kind of like, we focus on what we're posting and we kind of like,
it's like more curated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then on TikTok, like people really show the nitty gritty in their lives, no matter if they're a business owner or they're just, they're just living their life. And I think that TikTok really helped us pull out the rawness that we show of our crazy, warehouse of like, sometimes it's messy and sometimes we're not,
I think I just watched the one of like you doing deliveries on the weekend or something. And that where I'm like, like it was just like, like your feet getting out of the car and walking.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it was a rainy day. And I'm like, this is just so like, I'm videoing what I'm actually doing. And like, whereas I think I'm changing in this, but I think in starting, I was like, okay, I want my shoes to be cute so that it like goes here and this matches this.
Yeah.
And
that's how we really, honestly, that's how I really think that we started really. And then
I agree.
I feel like even the younger, we're on the cusp.
You are on the cusp.
We are.
The younger generation too. I don't know. I feel like they've been so, if I'm speaking for myself too, like we've seen beautiful pictures on Instagram and that's just not what life is all the time. So showing the rawness is what it's all about.
I love that.
I was going with that, but
Okay. I feel like this podcast is running on way longer than any other episode, which is totally fine. This was so genuine. I'm loving it. I could 100% keep going.
I was like, what else you got for us now? I'm kidding.
Yes.
No.
So much.
No.
Couple quick questions just so I don't forget anything. Are you in any storefronts right now?
So currently we're not in any storefronts. We do have a couple pop-ups coming up. We were featured in Indigo, which was incredible. We were in Moxie and Mine.
Yes. Okay.
Which was incredible for the month of October. And then Moxie and Mine's actually hosting a Galentine's Day, February 8th, from 6:30 to 9. And we are one of the vendors there at the warehouse.
Amazing.
So we will be there. And then we have a few more pop-ups planned for the summertime.
No
storefront permanently.
Okay. Yeah. Proudest business moment so far? The 40 under 40?
Oh, that was crazy. I feel like there's so many,
give me a couple. Tell me, what are a couple of the really proud moments?
Indigo was a huge moment for us, I think. That was when we were like
a month we were living by Kris Jenner's famous words.
Yes.
If someone tells you no,
you're asking the wrong person.
We're like, let's reach out to this person. Literally like a month after we launched, we didn't know what we were doing.
Had no idea.
We reached out to Indigo and we were so fortunate to have been able to have the chance to sit down with the manager her name is Nancy.
Yeah.
And
she's so wonderful.
She was moved by us and she was very woman empowerment.
Amazing.
Especially because Indigo was founded by a woman.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So really resonated with her. So we got into the car after that meeting where she was like, yes. Yeah.
Called my dad. And oh god.
We were just like screaming in the car. We're like, we just like,
oh my god. He's like, woo. For dinner. He's like, no way. Yeah, then we celebrated with dinner.
Yeah, so that was a good one.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That is, I think we need to, because we can get so caught up in the next stream and the big plans, it is so important to celebrate those small wins. And not that that's small, but I'm saying like, that's big.
Every win.
But all the wins. Yes. All of the wins. That's what I should say. Yeah.
Every time someone orders too, we literally message each other.
We'll just take a screenshot and we'll send it and we'll just be like, oh my God, like it's going to Nova Scotia, because we've had a couple. We've recently been having a couple like ping from not Kingston
too.
It's just wild. Insane. And we'll just be like, woo, get on FaceTime.
No, that is literally, I had someone order from Egypt.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
Pretty sure it was like a student that went to Queens that was in Egypt. and then they're ordering for a friend that was still back here.
Oh my goodness,
like
that's
I've had
incredible.
some of those ones, but that same thing where I'm like literally calling my family and I'm like, someone you just ordered from me. I'm international.
Yes.
We made it.
There's like high fiving.
Yes. Yeah. That
It feels
one
so
thing I would love customers, people to know that small business owners, like all those little reels about them like dancing, jumping for joy, like it is so true.
It's pure happiness.
It's pure
It's
happiness.
just an appreciative thankfulness, gratitude.
Yes. Thank you. So,
Yes. Okay. I want to know from each of you, a different one from each of you, a small business that you're loving right now, an account that you're loving, something that you're just like, it's your new fave to follow up on.
Ooh, I have one. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
So Rav, the Earthly Mama.
Yes.
Oh, we're obsessed with her. Love her. Shout out to Rav.
She's going to die.
She's
going to die.
Obviously,
We're
you're
very good
you're
friends. Yes.
She's a photographer, as
Yes.
you know. As you know. And she does the most beautiful boho. She did my sister's wedding too, actually.
Okay, amazing. Yeah.
Just stunning work. And
Yes.
so shout out to
The
Rav.
tones,
The tones.
yeah.
It's warm. It's inviting. It's beautiful. Like, it's stunning. Again, she did my sister's wedding, and it was the vision board. It was the Pinterest board. It was everything. So shout out to Rav. She's local to Kingston. So
She's outstanding.
she's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, love her.
Mine was it was actually funny because we were talking about on the way here. I had said mine, and then we kind of forgot. Mine was the Good Home Company.
Yeah.
And we forgot kind of like that.
That you're coming here. Yes.
Because we did, I think we met Caitlin at the YGK Craft Beer Fest.
Yep.
And we have been obsessed ever since.
Yes.
We did a candle making workshop for her
Okay.
for my birthday.
Yeah, for my birthday.
Yeah, and oh my god, the best, just amazing.
It smells.
So, candles.
Everything is just incredible about her. She's
Yes.
so beautiful. So amazing.
Yes. Oh, so good. It's two great people.
Exactly.
Great accounts. That's so exciting to hear. I love knowing that. And do you find that like you go up and down, like you have a new person you love for like 3 months, and not that we ever stop loving them. We just then find a new, right?
I feel like that's the thing about going back to the small business community is
We just go on. There's
keep
so many,
people just keep popping up, and we're like, oh my gosh, I'll send an account to Kailey and be like, have you seen this person? She's like, no, oh my gosh, and we follow and we engage, and it's it's incredible. The community
So
is
supportive.
It
so
is.
supportive.
It is outstanding. Yeah. Okay. Any final words? Anything you guys want to for sure be saying or sharing, or have we covered it all?
I think just a really big thank you.
Yeah.
I think this has been so fun for us. I think it's our second podcast. Third podcast we've ever
Been on.
and
Yeah.
it's just, we're so happy to be sitting here with you, and
this
we
was so
absolutely
much
love
fun.
this. So
Okay.
A
Well,
big
thank you so much. I was so excited to get you guys on. My youngest sister is 8 years younger than me. And I was like, Kaya, this podcast for you. These girls are your age. So I was like, you're going to be into this one. So yeah, I am so excited. I was so curious about so much to do with you guys and your business.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank
happy
you.
we got to meet. We got to do this.
Thank you.
I am so excited for the friendship that comes from these kind of things and just the continued support. And yeah, I will shout you guys out forever because I love the message, but I also love what I'm wearing right now.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Okay. I don't know if you can see our bottom half, but we are also in our
They are. Yes. We do have a little treat for everybody signing in and listening. So if you guys want to share that.
Yes, absolutely. We would love to give you guys 15% off.
The code is
We might need to update it. It might be a little long, so we will put it in the show notes.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
the Instagram caption, and then but something like your friendly neighborhood.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
might just need to shorten it up a little bit. So we'll do that. Put it in the show notes. Put it in the Instagram post. And yeah, you guys can shop with a great little discount for the next little bit, and we'll include all those details. So again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. XOXO, your friendly neighborhood podcast host.